Are you ready for the Horror Shed Podcast, starting now?
Welcome back, everyone, to the Horror Shed Podcast. I'm Jared, co-host with our other co-host down here, South Jersey Jason. How are you doing today, sir?
Well, it could be better. Cars in the shop. But last night I went and saw Terrifier. So by the time this comes out, people would probably already seen it, whether it's opening night or on Screenbox. But I don't want to give any spoilers away. But if you love the original, you're gonna love this one. And I'm gonna say it. I'm calling it the Godfather 2 of horror sequels.
Wow. Okay, that good.
Yeah. It was. I wasn't expecting it to be 2 hours and 18 minutes.
That's a long horror movie.
That's a long horror. That's a Marvel movie right there. Could have been shorter, yes. There was like a dream sequence that could have been cut out, like half of it. Kind of reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street. They introduced all new characters. It happened basically a year. Basically, like how the first one started was kind of like with the news report, what led up to that with the girl, assaulting the newscaster.
Yeah.
This takes place like a day after that assault. So all new characters except for Art. They really up the ante with kills. So if you like the Catherine Corkin getting sliced up the center, you're gonna love the one big kill 10 times better. So shout out. And I actually saw on Bloody Disgusting, because it was only open in maybe 800 theaters last night, and they made $400,000.
Okay.
So yeah. So with one showing, that's not bad with one like time showing.
Yeah. We have a slight delay, so I'm gonna pause this real quick and see if we can't catch up. All right, look at that. Magic and technology. We are back. Don't worry about the lag. When we deal with Zoom, you deal with that stuff, but no big deal. All right, so Terrifier 2 was a hit. Have you finished Dahmer yet?
I'm 3-4 episodes in. I keep falling asleep when we start it. I'm assed out in like 20 minutes.
I know. I'm working so hard with the haunts, and like we're doing 4 a weekend, and they always release horror movies in October, and I'm just like, yep, I'll be waiting to see all of this. But I have a nice list of stuff to watch, because we got The Watcher coming, which we're gonna do a special on, because I did a small one on Halloween Haunts probably 9 months ago.
And Irene's girlfriend lives not too far from that house.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it does in the movies. They're not out in the sticks. They're right next to people.
Yeah. They've I think how did it come about? Was it like, how did we find out about the social media or something? Like,
they contacted the news and everything because they were trying to figure out who the fuck this dude is.
Right.
I forget. I got to look back on the story because it was so long since I did it, but it was one of my short splat episodes about unexplained New Jersey. And it's so crazy.
If you hear my dog in the background, Loki, quiet all day. Quiet all day.
That's why I'm waiting for the work phone to ding, so we're good. All right, so what the hell are we doing today?
We're talking about cursed dolls.
Cursed dolls.
And you did a really good in-depth report here, because I had come to you about this topic because I was listening to another podcast about Robert the Doll.
Yeah.
I wasn't too familiar with him, and then I found out he's in Key West, and then they went into the truer story, but then like kind of like the urban legends about who Robert the Doll is. But that's one freaky looking doll.
It is. And we're going to do a little series on this, and this will be our first episode. Today we're going to cover probably the most famous in Annabelle, but we wanted to cover a couple other creepy dolls that we found along the way that if there's enough info, we'll do a show about it. We have Okiku out of Japan. As the story goes, Okiku was purchased by a young man sometime around 1918 in Japan. As a gift for his younger sister, Tragically, after a year, the little girl passed away from a severe case of the flu. The family created a shrine in her memory, placing the large doll on display. Sometime later, they noticed the doll's hair, which had originally been cut in a short bob, had grown past its shoulders. What the fuck? When the family moved in 1938, they entrusted the doll to the care of the Meninji Temple in Hokkaido, where caretakers continued to maintain Okiku, my bad, and her ever-growing hair.
I wonder if they have video, like a time lapse, to show the hair, get
Yeah,
longer.
I wonder if it's still growing.
Yeah. I mean, she looks cute when she's got a little bob, but then you look through the other picture and you're like, oh, hell
And I
no.
actually have a picture of Okuku in her chest somewhere here. Um, there she is. So she's up in that shrine. She's still growing hair.
Mm.
That's creepy.
Now, would Terry like? I know she loves collecting dolls,
Oh, she get one of
but
these fucking things in here. No.
she wouldn't go near one of those
Well,
dolls.
you hear the weird shit that happened after she saw one later on this
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
All right, so, and speaking of, next up, we have Lily. I'm going to show this picture right now.
Lily's freaking creepy looking too.
She is. She's
She looks
very
like
creepy.
something you would buy from Trick or Treat Studios or something.
Yes. Yeah. So now it's residing at Zach Bagans' Ghost Adventures Haunted Museum. Lily was made during the 1800s in Germany and features real human hair. According to the museum's Facebook post, she was discovered by an antiques dealer who took her home but began having recurring nightmares about a little girl who had a very bad accident. She was put up for sale at the antique shop. On one occasion, a customer's little girl spoke to the doll for 3 hours, interacting with her like a fellow child. She informed the proprietor that Lily was a little girl that had been subjected to extreme violence. When first encountering the doll, Baggins reported that he felt an immense energy radiating from the figure. But he experiences that with everything, so
He probably felt like her aura, like, dude, get away from me.
yeah, that's creepy.
That doll is just so creepy looking.
It is. And even more creepy, this will probably be our next entry into this series whenever we get back around to it. Robert the Doll.
Mm.
Holy crap, is he creepy.
He is. So I was watching the documentary on Discovery. This fucker is at least 4 feet tall.
Oh, is he? Is he that
Oh,
big?
uh, I mean, if the documentary was called Shock Docs, so the little boy Robert got him when he was, I think, like 8 or 9, and he was almost the size of the little boy.
Holy
And
crap.
he didn't come dressed like that. The picture in the sailor costume, he actually came dressed as a jester, which I thought was even creepier. The the outfit he is wearing is actually the little boy's sailor outfit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And the little claim we have for this, and this, I think we'll find enough to do a full episode on him as
Yeah,
well.
there's a lot. Yep.
Robert came to the Otto family of Key West, Florida in the early 1900s as a gift to their youngest son, Robert Eugene Otto. The boy and doll became inseparable, with the child often laying blame for his misdeeds on the doll. The family alleged that the toy often seemed to change positions of its own accord. They also claimed that when their son was alone in the room, they could hear him conversing with the doll, and the doll responding in a complete different voice. Oh, okay. After Eugene's death in 1974, Robert was given to East Martello Museum. Visitors who have taken his picture without permission claim to have experienced terrible misfortune as a result of their transgressions. Robert is surrounded by letters of apology and admiration.
Yeah. So excuse me. So actually, the company that made Robert the doll is actually the company that invented the teddy bear out of Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and I have to rewatch the documentary because I fell asleep, but you literally like have to talk to him before you do anything. Once you come into his presence, you have to acknowledge him.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
same thing with, they made us do that with Lily.
Okay. Okay.
And you didn't have long time to look at Lily, and she was behind other walls. So you kind of went in a U shape,
Mm-hmm.
say hi Lily, bye Lily, and then you left the whole room. Like
Oh wow.
she's pretty well protected.
Wow. Yeah, there's nothing like he's just in a thing of glass. Like it doesn't say like anything as far as, like Annabelle's does.
No,
There's no enchantment on him.
yeah, we're like fuck it, get haunted, have fun.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to Ruby. Now I didn't know anything about Ruby. Ruby is a porcelain doll with a penchant for moving around from place to place. Oh, currently residing with the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult, she comes from mysterious origins. Her previous owner said she had originally belonged to a little girl in the family who died while holding the toy. Following the tragedy, she was passed down through generations until coming to her current residence at the museum. Visitors often report experiencing an overwhelming feeling of sorrow radiating from Ruby.
Hmm.
Then I just showed a picture of Ruby. That is a scary looking friggin' doll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know much about Ruby, but I'll have to
So
look
my
up on
thing is,
Ruby.
if my kid died while holding a doll, you know what I'm doing to that doll? It's
It's
going out in the trash.
no, it's getting buried with the kid for real.
Yeah. Yeah. Put some salt with it or whatever,
Uh-huh. All right, so our last one is a creepy looking one.
This
I
is
don't even
yeah.
know. Do I have one? Yeah, here we go. Here's Letty or Letta. Short for Letta Me Out. Letta is a 200-year-old wooden doll with human hair. He was discovered beneath a house in Wagga Wagga, Australia by his current caretaker, Carrie Walton. Walton told the Warwick Daily News, I reckon he walks in the nighttime. We came in here as a new house, and I've never heard so many strange things in my life. He's found scuff marks on the floor of his home, as well as objects mysteriously shifted. Walton has brought Letty with him to multiple television interviews and has started an Instagram page dedicated to the doll.
Let me pull up my IG real quick. Let me see what we got here. Well, let me see if I did it right. Letta.
Yep, Letta.
All right, well, let me go to accounts. All right, I'm gonna do a little research because it's not coming up under that. So it's probably like maybe letting me out or something, but I'll
Yeah.
do a little research on that. That looking at him reminds me of like one of the claymation elves from like the Santa Claus shows in the
That
60s.
and it kind of looks like the human people in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Like the king and the queen.
Yes. 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 Though and those puppets are creepy as hell too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But today we're gonna kick off with the most famous, Annabelle. Say what you will about Ed and Lorraine Warren, and I've teetered the fence on both sides of their arguments about all of this. And then now we have to deal with Tony Spira, who literally changed that research website that the Warrens had and put together with all the case files to TonySpira.com.
Are you serious?
Not fucking joking.
Does he have any expertise or he just married into the family?
He married into the family and started making them talk about shit on VHS. You can find most of them on YouTube.
Wow.
So I'm more certified than Tony fucking Spira.
So he's just in it for the money and the fame.
Yep.
How long has he been apart? When did him and Judy, that's a daughter, right? Judy?
I don't know when they got married, but I know they've been doing the Night with the Warren tapes since the late 80s.
Okay. All right. So that was Spira's idea.
I'm pretty sure the way they were
Wow.
answering
So he goes,
questions and
okay.
everything. Yeah. Because he was the host.
Okay.
You need a host for Ed and Lorraine Warren to talk about their shit.
Yeah.
Come on.
Wow. And like it makes you think about how the daughter, like,
And she's
I
not
guess
in it at all. Like, you don't ever
she's
hear about her.
not.
Like, she's not
Okay.
on the website. It's hard to find images of her. All you find
Wow.
is Tony Spears stuff.
And I've only seen a couple of clips of him, like mostly with Zach Baggins,
Mhm.
and he seems like a carnival, like a the guy that leads the carnival.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like he may know some shit. I know he owns the museum, so that's awesome. But it just seems like even watching those videos of the past when I did all the Amityville research, it was just, oh, I gotta tell you about a hayride when we're done this thought.
Okay.
It was just like he hitched a hook onto a wagon and rode it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But Creepy World, St. Louis, Missouri. I have to go. The hayride contains full facades or facades, whatever you want to call the word, of the Amityville house, the Elm Street house, the Halloween house, the Friday the 13th cabins, and a ton other.
Oh, wow.
Full, like, just front images. And they had Springwood Elementary. Like,
oh, wow.
Oh my God, it was so cool.
So this is part of the hayride?
Yeah, I'll show you I'll send you the link later. It was so
Okay.
freaking cool. I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So my trip to Ohio might be a little longer next year. But I mean, how often do you see the Amityville house anywhere in a haunt?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, but let's dive into our girl Annabelle. I'll show a picture of them moving Annabelle right now.
Now, did you know about Annabelle before the first Conjuring movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew nothing.
I've known about the Warrens for a long time.
Okay.
Obviously, everyone knows that Annabelle was a Raggedy Ann doll and not that porcelain thing that horrible actress got in the movie Annabelle. All right, so the origin. In 1970, a mother purchased an antique Raggedy Ann doll from a hobby store. The doll had been a birthday present for her daughter, Donna. Donna was preparing to graduate from college with a nursing degree. She lived in a tiny apartment with her roommate, Angie. A nurse as pleased with the cute Raggedy Ann doll, Donna placed it on her bed as a decoration and didn't give it a second thought, which is normal. Within days, both Donna and Angie noticed that there appeared to be something very strange and creepy about the doll. The doll mysteriously seemed to move about the house, relatively small movements at first, such as a change in position. But as time passed, the movement became more noticeable. Donna and Angie would come home to find the doll in a completely different room. Sometimes the doll would be found with legs crossed, arms folded. Other times it would be found upright, standing on its feet. I'm guessing against the wall or something. Several times Donna sometimes left the doll on the couch before leaving for work and would return to find the doll back in her bedroom with the bed closed. All right, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
My initial thought would be someone's fucking with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I still think it could be with the roommates and everything, but we'll move on. The messages. The Annabelle doll not only moved, but could write as well. About a month into her experiences, Donna and Angie began to find messages on parchment paper that read, "Help us," and "Help Lou." The handwriting as if written by a small child. The creepy part about the messages was not the wording, but the way they were written. At the time, Donna had never kept parchment paper on which the notes were written in the house, so where did the parchment paper come from? Yeah, because they're young nursing students. They're not baking.
Right.
So
yeah.
I find it really plausible that there is no I don't have parchment paper in this house, and the wife bakes. Well, we might, but I will know even where to fucking find it. All right, so Annabelle Higgins. One night, Donna came home to find the doll had moved again. This time it was on her bed. Donna had come to find that this was typical of the doll, but somehow knew this time it was different. Something wasn't right. A sense of fear came over her when she inspected the doll and saw what looked like blood drops on the back of its hand and its chest. Seemingly from nowhere, a liquid red substance had appeared on the doll. Excuse me. Scared and desperate, Donna and Angie decided it was time to seek expert advice. That's the time you want to, when it's bleeding?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. Not knowing where to turn, they contacted a medium and a seance was held. You fucked up. Donna was then introduced to the spirit of Annabelle Higgins. The medium related the story of Annabelle to both Donna and Angie. Annabelle was a young girl that resided on the property before the apartments were built. They were happy times. She was a young girl of only 7 years old when her lifeless body was found in the field upon which the apartment complex now stands. The spirit related to the medium that she felt comfort with Donna and Angie and wanted to stay with them and be loved. Feeling compassionate for Annabelle and her story, Donna gave her permission to inhibit the doll and stay with them. You're a moron.
Mm-hmm.
They were to soon find out, however, that Annabelle was not what she appeared to be. This was no ordinary case and definitely no ordinary doll. I have a problem with this.
Okay.
I think it would take a lot longer if a demon was to possess a doll in this apartment. And I've kind of been told like 3 stories about this. Like it was bought possessed. So how would how would it die there if it was bought
Right.
at a so that's my first red flag to this whole story, is not having this right. All right. Lou's account. This shit's crazy. Lou was friends with Donna and Angie and had been with them since the day the doll arrived. Lou had never been fond of the doll and on several occasions warned Donna that it was evil and to get rid of it. Donna had a compassionate tie to the doll and, not giving much credence to Lou's feeling, kept it. Donna's decision, it turns out, was a terrible mistake. Lou awoke one night from a deep sleep and, in panic, once again he had a recurring bad dream. So Lou's having bad dreams, waking up in panics. Only this time, somehow, something seemed different. It was as though he was awake but could not move. He looked around the room but couldn't find anything out of the ordinary, and then it happened. Looking down towards his feet, he saw the doll, Annabelle. It began to slowly glide up his leg, moving over his chest, and then stopped. Within seconds, the doll was strangling him. Paralyzed and grasping for breath, Lou, at this point of asphyxiation, blacked out. Lou awoke the next morning, certain it was not a dream. Lou was determined to rid himself of that doll and the spirit that possessed it. However, would have one more terrifying experience with Annabelle. Preparing for a road trip the next day, Lou and Angie were reading over maps alone in her apartment. The apartment seemed eerily quiet. Suddenly, rustling sounds coming from Donna's room aroused fear that someone had possibly broken into the apartment. Lou, determined to figure out who or what it was, quietly made his way to the bedroom door. He waited for the noises to stop before entering and turning on the light. Why would you wait? Like that right there is just okay.
Yeah.
The room was empty except for Annabelle, whom was tossed on the floor in the corner. Lou scoured the room for forced entry, but nothing was out of place. As he got close to the doll, he got the distinct impression that someone was behind him. Spinning around, he was quick to realize that nobody was there. Then in a flash, he found himself grabbing for his chest, doubled over, cut, and bleeding. His shirt was stained with blood, and upon opening his shirt, there on his chest looked like 7 distinct claw marks. 3 vertically and 4 horizontal. All were hot like burns. These scratches healed almost immediately. Half gone the next day, fully gone by 2 days later.
So they still had the damn doll in the house as it's crawling up his leg.
Yes.
That's creepy as hell, because to have a cute little Raggedy Ann doll like humping your leg and then choking the crap out of you.
And how's it choking you if it can't open its hands past this?
Right.
Like, are you doing this?
Could be, or maybe
it's just using the force of the entity to choke him out.
Yeah, I've never heard this story before. This is all news to me right here.
Yep.
Man, I wish they had that in the movie.
No, we got that dry ass actress. Yeah, this would have been scarier.
Yeah, because Annabelle, the only thing that made it scary, really was just like she didn't walk on herself. The only time you saw her like move was when you saw the demon holding her up.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Right. It's been 10 years, so I think we're all right. But the scariest part of that was when you actually saw the demon, like the elevator scene.
But you know what, though? I think what I like about it is you don't really see her moving. It's what I love about the Conjuring series and the Annabelle and the Nun. I mean, yeah, it's cool to watch a horror movie. It's that music.
Yep,
Yeah. So
yep. And in the original Annabelle, I kind of like that original story,
yeah,
how the cult of the
like a Manson type cult.
yep, and it fit the
Yeah.
time, and they played
Yep.
that well. It was a scary fucking scene.
And yeah, I mean, God, when they were in the family next door's house, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh. And I did love like the sequels that followed weren't the best. I mean, they were okay, but I love how it all tied
It
together.
does. They do a good job
Yeah,
with that because they end up
yeah.
talking about the cult of the Lamb in The
Hmm.
Conjuring 3.
Yeah,
He was hunting the ghost of the cult of the Lamb.
yeah,
And then Annabelle comes home, I thought was fantastic.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it didn't have to do really with the Warrens, but the daughter and her, she had just the jump scares in that, the acting in
And
that.
that was just so Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
Like,
they were drasting out, but you can take every one of those demons and find shit about it in their files.
oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
Hollywood kept to the like a little bit of
Hmm.
the Warren script.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
like we're gonna make a whole bunch of shit and have Annabelle release it.
Right, right, yeah. I mean, can you imagine like if Annabelle like just like opened all like the little windows to hell?
Mm-hmm. Oh
That would get a little
man.
bit too far fetched.
All right, so we're gonna go into the Warrens part in this now. Donna finally was willing to believe the spirit in the house was not that of a young girl, but inhuman and demonic in nature. After Lou's experiences, Donna felt it was time to seek real expert advice and contacted a priest named Father Hegan. Father Hegan felt it was a spiritual matter and felt he needed to contact a horror authority in the church. So he contacted Father Cook, who immediately contacted the Warrens, which is what Father Cook always did.
Hmm.
Ed and Lorraine Warren immediately took interest in the case and contacted Donna concerning the doll. The Warrens, after speaking with Donna, Angie, and Lou, came to the immediate conclusion that the doll itself was not in fact possessed but manipulated by an inhuman presence. Spirits do not possess inanimate objects like houses or toys, they possess people. Not true. An inhuman spirit can attach itself to a place or object, and this is what occurred. Okay, yeah. So it
So
can
what's the
attach.
difference between an inhuman? Like, I don't, that's where I'm confused at now.
Basically, so say you get possessed,
Hmm.
it can make you act certain ways.
Okay.
It can only attach itself to like my phone. So like it
Okay.
can't really make the phone kill me, but it can like kind of push it around and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's what I
Gotcha.
read when I went through that whole bullshit.
Okay.
Because usually in possession cases, they usually end up exercising the house more than the person.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's very rare they can fully take over. All right, so an inhuman spirit can attach itself to a place or object, and this is what occurred in the Annabelle case. This spirit manipulated the doll and created the illusion of it being alive in order to get recognition. Truly, the spirit was not looking to stay attached to the doll, it was looking to possess a human host. The spirit, or in this case, an inhuman demonic spirit, because it's the Warrens, everything's a demon, was essentially in the infestation stage of the phenomenon. It first began moving the doll around the apartment by means of teleportation to arouse the occupants. Curiosity in the hopes they would get it recognition. Then, predictably, the mistake of bringing a medium into the apartment to communicate it. The human spirit, now able to communicate through the medium, preyed on the girl's emotional vulnerabilities by pretending to be a rather harmless, lost young girl, with which during the seance was allowed permission from Donna to haunt the apartment. It then set about causing negative phenomena to occur. It aroused fear through the weird movements of the doll. It brought about the materialization of disturbing handwritten notes, the symbolic drop of blood on the hand, and ultimately it even attacked Lou, leaving behind the symbolic mark of the beast. We don't know what the mark was. It healed in 2 days. So that's
And there's no photographic evidence.
right. No one took a
Right.
picture.
Yeah.
The next stage of the infestation phenomenon would have been complete human possession. Had these experiences lasted another 2 or 3 weeks, the spirit would have completely possessed, if not harmed or killed, one or all of the occupants in the house. Let's relax. At the conclusion of the investigation, the Warrens felt it appropriate to have a exorcism blessing by Father Cook to cleanse the apartment. The blessing of the home is a wordy 7-page document that is distinctly positive in nature rather than specifically expelling evil entities from the dwelling. The emphasis is instead directed towards filling the home with the power of the positive and God. At Donna's request, as a further precaution against the phenomena ever occurring in the home again, the Warrens took the big rag doll home when they left. All right, so see, now here's my problem with you always read that it's a Catholic priest and it has to be a priest to exorcise the building.
Right.
What if it's a Hindu demon?
Right.
They don't give a shit about your cross. They don't know what that
Right.
is.
Yeah.
So, it's always goes to the Catholic. But they did it right because the idea is to create positive energy and, negate negative energy.
So do you think it's best, like, if someone, I mean, like, okay, so to do an exorcism, um, you have to be of of that religion to know that you
No,
expelled?
because
No?
you'll never find out what kind of religion the demon is because you're never going to see the demon.
What if he gives you his name? Doesn't that tell you? Or
You can look it up.
yeah.
It's been documented before,
Okay.
but still, what do we really know?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the Bible was written 2,000 years ago by a dude.
Right.
So what the fuck does he know? So I mean, not to get that deep, but when you're dealing with possession, it's more positive energy versus negative energy. That's why I think psychics aren't fake. They could just sense the different poles, negative and positive.
Gotcha.
Like normal people can feel it. You walk into a chilly house, something might not feel right.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that it's a demon. It doesn't mean that it's
Or
that.
you eat Taco Bell, something ain't feeling right. You gotta
Yeah.
expel a demon.
You gotta exorcise the demon. Man, the last time I had Taco Bell, that was horrible.
Ugh.
The wife wanted it, and whew. Man. All right, so let's get into the conclusion of this crazy Annabelle tale. Father Cook, although uncomfortable with his role as an exorcist, agreed to perform the 7-page rite of exorcism, a doctrine he recited throughout the apartment, at which point the Warrens were confident the entity would no longer reside there. They agreed to take the rag doll back home with them. Upon leaving, Ed placed the doll in his back seat and agreed he would not take the interstate in the event the inhuman spirit still resided with the doll. Wouldn't you want to stay on the interstate? It's further away from houses.
Right. Right.
So that, it's just...
He was just probably thinking of the highway and mass casualty accident, maybe.
Right.
But why is it in the back seat? I put it in a duffel bag in the trunk.
Yeah. Throw it in a lockbox, pray, throw some cards in there, shit. Like, and I was listening to a podcast. They were talking to another demonologist. He's part of the church, and he's like, "You gotta believe in God if you believe in demons." No, there's Jewish demons. They don't care about your God.
Right. Yeah.
There's hundreds of religions. It doesn't matter. It's negative, positive energy. I mean, and then you have the church. You need a licensed exorcist with church approval, but the church tells you no one's been exorcised in 400 years. It's bullshit. You're lying. We know they have been. We have videos of this.
Right.
So it's just... me and religion go way back. His suspicions were all too correct. In no time, the Warrens felt themselves as the object of a vicious hatred. Yeah. Then at each dangerous curve, the car swerved and stalled with every corner, causing the power steering and brakes to fail. Repeatedly, the car verged on collision. Ed reached into the back seat into his black bag and took out a vial of holy water and doused the doll, making the sign of the cross over. The disturbance stopped immediately, and the Warrens arrived safely home. Okay. You did a whole exorcism, and he's still fucking with you, but your little cross is going to make it stop on the way home?
Right,
Oh,
right.
bullshit, Mr. Ed.
That sounds like that's literally the scene out of the movie, I believe, in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the Warrens arrived home, Ed set the doll in a chair next to his desk. The doll levitated a number of times in the beginning. Aren't you grabbing the camera? You're Ed Warren. You have a camera on your
Yeah.
desk.
Yeah.
Then it's especially when you're in the business of creating these stories to make money.
Right.
If that shit's flying, I'm like, hey, I'm rich.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Then it seemed to fall inert. During the ensuing weeks, however, it began showing up in various rooms of the house. When the Warrens were away and had the doll locked up in the outer office building, they would often return to it, finding sitting comfortably upstairs in Ed's easy chair when they opened the main door. The doll also showed a hatred for clergymen who came to the house. That's nothing new. In one instance, Father Jason Bradford, a Catholic exorcist, came to the house. Upon seeing the doll seated in the chair, he picked it up and said, "You're just a rag doll, Annabelle. You can't hurt anyone," and tossed the doll back in the chair, at which point Ed exclaimed, "That's one thing you better not say." Upon leaving an hour later, Lorraine pleaded to the priest to please be careful driving and to call her when he arrived home. Lorraine discerned tragedy for this young priest, but he had to go his way. A few hours later, Father Jason called Lorraine and explained that his brakes had failed as he entered a busy intersection. He was involved in a near-fatal accident, destroying his vehicle. This was just one of many such events that occurred over the next few years. The Warrens had a special case built for Annabelle inside the Occult Museum, where she resides to this day. Since the case was built, Annabelle no longer appeared to move, but she is thought to be responsible for the death of a young man who came to the museum on a motorcycle with his girlfriend. The young man, after hearing Ed's account of the doll, defiantly went up and began to bang on the case, insisting that if the doll could put scratches on people, that he also wanted to be scratched. Ed said to the young man, "Son, you need to leave," and put him out of the building. On the way home, the young man and his girlfriend were laughing and making fun of the doll when he lost control of his motorcycle and went head on into a tree.
Mm.
The young man was killed instantly, but his girlfriend survived and was hospitalized for over a year. When she asked what happened, the young woman explained that they were laughing about the doll when they lost control of the motorcycle. Ed warns you, do not challenge evil. There is no man more powerful than Satan. You know how many times motorcycles crash? I mean,
Right.
I'm calling bullshit on that one too.
But okay, but you had 3 vehicle
Yep.
mishaps,
Kind of
all with
rare.
Annabelle.
Kind of
Yeah.
rare.
Yeah.
Very
Maybe
rare.
people in Connecticut just aren't keen to getting their cars and motorcycles checked on a regular basis.
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, it's such a crazy story. Part of me wants to believe it because if anything, a demon or a spirit's going to inhabit, I think it would be a toy or a doll
Yeah.
because it looks like people and it's not going to fight because it's an inanimate object.
And plus, if a little kid comes across it, kids are easier to possess, I would think.
Yeah, because they say
Yeah.
when you're closer in either way. So, like when you're old or a kid, if you're
Okay.
closer to death's gate, that
Mm.
you're more sensitive.
Now, I wonder, like, when people found out, like, Annabelle was a Raggedy Ann doll, did the makers of the doll, did they get an increase in sales or a decrease in sales?
I think it was too late because
Okay.
I know that they couldn't use a Raggedy Ann doll in the
Because they
movie.
didn't have, like, the rights
They
or
don't have
something,
the
or
rights
license.
to that
Yeah.
Raggedy Ann doll. So it might have increased after this, but if that's even if they're still making it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the timing's weird.
How cool would it be, though, man, for, like, horror collectors if the Raggedy Ann was licensed to, like, NECA or something, and
Yeah,
you had
I know.
that would be
I
cool.
want it
Yeah,
in the whole box. That's what I want.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, very interesting story. Like, until I saw the first Conjuring, knew nothing about Annabelle. I was stoked when she got her own show, and um, the it was a great three-parter.
Mhm.
I mean, part two I think is my favorite of the three.
That
Um,
was
Creation,
a great movie.
yeah, yeah.
Great movie.
I loved how he just had her like in a room full of crosses and whatnot, and you
Yeah.
learn where that girl from the first one came from.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, a
It
lot
was
of red
so
herrings in that
crazy.
film. You didn't know like what was going on.
Yeah, because the guy
Um,
was creepy. Why
yeah,
is the wife and the is the wife real? Why is he
yeah,
hiding the wife?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So currently the museum is
They're
closed, correct?
closed. They
Yeah,
do
I
not
guess
have the museum zoning for the area they're in.
that's just so weird after so many years, like all of a sudden,
It was probably the movies. It became probably too much.
yeah. Um, Obviously Tony's making money off of her because a couple years ago he brought the doll to Zach Baggins' museum,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure he probably charged a pretty penny for that. Did you happen to see that episode of Ghost Hunters?
Nope. There's a lot of episodes of Ghost Hunters I haven't seen.
Like I'll get in my Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures. I'm sorry, Ghost Adventures. I'll get into like a kick where I watch them all.
Okay.
That one I was really interested in, and I don't know how much of it was scripted, you
You're
know.
right.
It was cool when they had like the cameras over her, like you saw like the stick figure things, you know. Um, I don't know how much Zach Baggins was he did he get a little bit of something, or was it him being a little bit, dramatic? But it was interesting. Tony was pissed though because Zach, I believe he opened the door to the thing that she was
Of
in.
course he did.
Yeah, yeah, and like so
The
that was
idiots
really
open Dybbuk boxes.
wow. Now there's more than one though. There's Dybbuk boxes,
Yes.
right? Yeah, I
Yes.
didn't, and again, I didn't know about that until I saw that god awful movie.
Oh,
Um,
it was on Tubi.
yeah, with Jeffrey Dean. No, it was with Jeffrey Dean Morgan called like The Gift, or was it The Gift? Where he gets it for his daughter at like a
Oh
yard
no.
sale.
This was a whole dude of a vlog of him
Uh,
buying one off the black market.
oh, was it good?
No.
Oh, okay. Because it gets the only. I mean, when I first heard of Dibby Box, like the one story that made all the rounds on the internet, that was a cool story. But the movie had said, "Oh, inspired by this story,"
Yeah.
but it had nothing to do with the story.
Yeah, they mentioned that movie when you walk in and a couple other movies that was referenced by the Dybbuk box. But yeah,
Okay,
he opened that. I don't he's not gonna not open the Annabelle doll. If you're
right.
interested in seeing the Annabelle doll, it will be at the Mohegan Sun October 30th for their Tony Spirit convention or whatever they're calling it.
Are you kidding me?
Nope, they did it last year too.
Oh, geez. Where's this at? Las Vegas?
No, Connecticut.
Oh,
The
Connecticut.
Mohegan Sun,
Okay.
Connecticut.
Okay. Okay.
I don't remember how much tickets were, but he's gonna have a bunch of shit there, including Annabelle and a couple other things from like the Conjuring
Do you think the
shit.
Warrens are rolling around in their grave?
No,
Like,
because I
no?
think he's just carrying on what they were doing.
Okay.
Like I'm split with the Warren tales.
Okay.
I believe something fucked up happened at Amityville,
Hmm.
and until I'm allowed to go shoot a 35 Mariner in that building with someone outside to tell me if they can hear it, I'm not going
Hmm.
to be satisfied.
Okay.
It's a big gun. And when
Yeah.
I did my video, and we'll probably touch that too. When I did my video, the comments were, "Well, the Baywooder and the make of the house." No, motherfucker. I just shot a rifle in a house.
Yeah.
It's gonna be loud.
Yeah.
Like even the cops say you should be able to hear this from 4 blocks away.
Oh, wow.
Nobody heard a single shot, but they heard the dog crying. How's that happen?
Right. I mean, to me, I think the murder is more fascinating than the haunting, quote
Yes,
unquote.
me too.
Unfortunately, we'll never know the truth because it died with DeFeo. Um, it just baffles me how the entire family could be killed with one gun.
Yes. And then we
Yeah.
have Rick Asuna believing everything coming out of fucking crackpot Ronnie DeFeo's mouth. The dude's lied 7 times.
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously fucked. And yeah, he did it, but how?
Right.
And if the sister did it, there would have to be a separate gun with the same round that the Marlin fired.
Right.
That doesn't add up either. So,
I always thought it was like gas, like they gassed them.
but you would
They
find that in
didn't
the
find,
talk screen.
but there's got to be like a gas that doesn't come up in the talk screen now.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's so weird because the murders doesn't make sense.
No.
And why these guys aren't doing a B&B or an Airbnb is fucking beyond me. You'd pay that house off in 6 months.
Property taxes alone for the year, it's like $40,000.
Yep.
That's disgusting.
And they're paying that, man. That's nuts.
Like, what the hell do you do for a living to own? I mean, because the house is almost, I think, $1 million. It's around that. That's what it sold for last.
Right.
Not too long ago either. It's a couple years ago.
Yep.
Dude, if I won the lottery, I would drive up to Long Island, knock on their door. How much for your house? Cash.
And then I'm bringing a contractor the next day to fix those fucking windows.
Yeah.
And put that sign back up.
Yep.
And then
when we moved in, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, go for it.
When we moved into the house, I said, Irene, can I get a sign for our front yard? And she said, what do you want to get? I said, there's a really cool sign called High Hopes, and I want to put it in the front yard. She's like, why does that sound familiar? I'm like, is this from Amityville Horror? She's like, no. I said, it'll look beautiful with our cute brick house and our little.
Look great. Yeah, I think it'll match my house pretty good too. I need to have my dad. My dad used to carve signs on the boardwalk.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah,
he could easily make that.
Yeah, they're not too expensive on eBay. You know, if you want like a life size one, it's not really that bad. I would definitely love to put it like in the front yard.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, Amityville is like the Black Dahlia, we'll never know.
Yeah. And we would if they'd let me get in there. I need the police, I need a rifle, I need a gun. If I prove that you can hear gunshots outside, something fucked up happened there.
Well, if we win the lottery, that's what's going to happen.
Yep, that's right. Time to start playing the lottery.
Can you imagine?
When we get 2 million subscribers on YouTube, we'll go by the Amity house. Subscribe now.
How much would you charge to stay like a night or the weekend?
Depends on how many rooms there are. I believe it was 6 bedrooms.
Okay.
So I figure anywhere for a weekday, I would go probably 600 in the winter, 1,200 in the summer, and then double that for a weekend.
Not bad. And you got prime real estate there. You got a pool in the backyard. You got the bay, the boathouse.
Yep. Like I think it's a perfect summer rental.
Yeah.
So, A, you get history. B, they will flock to us like you wouldn't. Dude, we'd be booked for 4 years by the time we hit start.
Yeah.
They just did with the Airbnb in Salem for the Hocus Pocus movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
The sister's house is now on Airbnb. They're booked out for 2 years, I believe.
Are you serious?
And now this is a real true crime and modeled after 10 Hollywood movies. Cha-ching!
10 Hollywood movies? You mean more than that?
Nah, I'm not counting the Amityville Shark or the Amityville Dollhouse.
Amityville Karen.
Oh my god.
There's this guy that keeps reaching out to me. He's made a couple Amityville houses to either back it or to share it. And I was like, stop. I was like, stop coming after me. Like,
oh man.
I mean, you're putting a name on anything. Yeah. I even think there was one in space, actually.
There was. I think it's on Tubi.
I started listening to a podcast. These two guys created a podcast to review every Amityville horror movie that's ever been made. And of course, it starts out good with the originals, and then they got into the really shitty ones. And I haven't, kept up with them, but they're still releasing them because every week there's a new Amityville movie coming out.
Yeah, the Amityville is what keeps me kind of in the book for Ed and Lorraine, and maybe The Haunting in Connecticut a little bit.
Okay, well, that's not tied to them.
Yeah,
Haunting Connecticut. Oh, I didn't know that they came out there.
They were out there.
Oh, because in the movie, I don't think they.
Nah, they didn't do
Yeah,
anything like that.
yeah.
But they researched that. Then the old '80s movie, The Haunting, that's on YouTube for free. That was a pretty good movie.
I don't think I know that one.
Yeah, it was a TV movie, I believe, but it's just called The Haunting.
Oh,
It had a black scribble as the demon. It was actually kind of creepy.
I never saw that. I'll have to take a look at
Yeah,
that.
check it out on YouTube.
Where's that take place?
Pennsylvania. I
Oh
forget
shit.
the name of the family, but the family even ended up on like Sally Jesse Raphael.
Oh shit.
And like, but it was so weird because it was like the new tenants, the old tenants, and the Warrens, and the old tenants. You guys are so. Why do you care? Why are
Right.
you there? If you're
Yeah.
not experiencing anything, you're not making any money off of this. And then
Right.
why are you fucking putting up this show? And then the tenants are like, yeah, we both got raped by the demon. And then the Warrens are yelling at everyone to try and prove their point. I'm sorry. If I know I'm right and I saw what I saw, I'm like, okay,
Hmm. Right.
whatever. I know what I saw. That's maybe just me, though.
You know what's on Shutter? Is it Shutter? I've watched it once before. Great documentary. My Amityville Horror. Have you seen that one?
I think that's on Tubi now, too.
Is it on TB2? Okay.
It's about the
Yeah.
son, right?
The One Son,
Yeah,
yes.
I'll have to check
Yeah.
that. I haven't watched it yet, but I know that I've seen it.
It's he's got some clearly some post-traumatic stuff, you know. Um Out of the blue, um his brother friend requested me on Facebook like over a year ago, and he has changed his name since.
Yeah.
Um he was trying to make his own either movie or documentary, and I had messaged him and after like maybe a week or two of him friend requesting me, hey, I got this one podcast. Would you want to be a guest on? I would love to hear your accounts and your how you feel about everything. He's like, yeah, sure, sure. I haven't heard from him. He started this one Facebook group, and then not so much about the house or anything, just like it was a weird group, but he's an army veteran. I think he's got some PTSD as well, but I think he's kind of worn out his welcome in some places.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's having difficulty trying to get someone to help him make this documentary.
Mm.
But he seems a little bit more level-headed than his other brother. Yeah. But I'm gonna see if he's still active on Facebook. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll get him on,
worth a shot.
And but you never hear about the sister. They had a sister too, I think, right? Did they have a sister?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't hear about her, you know?
It's weird. You think he'd go after the money grab being a part of the Lutz family. Unless you saw some really serious shit. So then
Yeah.
again, I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird because George and Kathy always stood by their word. They passed a polygraph, but you would think the kids would still be like the Gene Simmons
Yeah.
and the Tony Spiras trying to make
Yes.
a buck. So something must have really fucked them up that they don't even want to,
Yeah.
you know.
It's weird. It's definitely weird. Just like the Conjuring house. If you talk to the one young lady who was there for all of it,
Mm-hmm.
I've literally watched her story change 3 times.
Really.
She did an interview where it was Bathsheba. She believed it
Mm-hmm.
was Bathsheba. She was cool with the Warrens. I watched the Grim Life Collective interview.
I started watching that one. Yeah.
She didn't believe it was Bathsheba. No one believed it was Bathsheba. They didn't want the Warrens there. So I'm like, I just watched 2 different videos and I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Now, where is that? Does that take place in Rhode Island or Pennsylvania?
It's northeast more. It's either Connecticut or Rhode Island.
Okay. So the house that's a B&B, is it the actual house or the movie house?
No, it's the actual house.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
But buddy of mine, the owner of Brighton Asylum, actually went up there before haunt season. He
Okay.
said they heard some shit on the sensors and everything.
Oh wow.
But I think
Nice.
they sold it again.
Okay. Now, where they go and play the movie, is that the movie house or the Real House. Do you know about
No, I
that
think
one?
at the Real
Oh
House.
shit! Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, you can rent it out, but again, it's a year out.
Mm. Mm-mm.
So, like I'm saying, Amityville's missing the boat.
Yeah, but
Ugh.
that community's uptight though.
Yeah,
You
but if it's an
know,
Airbnb,
they would fight that to the tooth and nail.
you can't. There's really no legislation unless you're in a homeowners association, which isn't there
No,
against an
no.
Airbnb. So,
I just want to drive by and take a picture of it.
oh, we will when we do our
Yeah,
little trip. We'll hit Tom's
yeah.
River, do whatever suspect filming we can do, and then hit the parkway up to Long Island.
There you go.
Get some
Starting
lunch.
starting in January, I get 5 weeks of vacation.
There we go.
So yeah, so we'll plan a day of it or a 2 day or whatever you want to make of it.
I'll work on getting the camera because I need it for the haunts anyway. So,
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well,
all
that
right,
was a
brother.
great episode. I
Yeah, it
learned a
came
lot
out good.
today.
Look at you.
Yeah. You did a great job, and I'm going to do to continue the series. I'm going to do Robert because
I need
he's
to read more
fascinating to
about
me,
Robert too.
and I'm going to take a stab and watch the first Robert the Boy movie.
I didn't even know there was movies about this doll, and I feel
There's
bad
like
for
three.
you.
There's like three of them, but I'm only going to
Shit.
watch one.
Yeah, I think he can only get through one, especially with all
Yeah,
the shit we got coming out, man.
yeah, I know. Tonight I'm going to watch the new Hellraiser.
Yeah, we got Hellraiser, we got Child's Play, we got The Watcher, we have Terrifier, and we have unrelated Black Panther.
Black Panther. There's a new horror devil movie coming out. I think it's the one with Virginia
Oh
Madsen,
yeah,
the one new
yeah.
coming.
The
That comes out the 28th of this month.
I got so many movies to watch when I get off this haunt train.
Yeah, and then I think there's another movie I sent to Irene. I'll forward it to you. I don't think it's related to the October 28th one. So about a little girl that gets possessed in a hospital or something.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I did see that.
And we got Black Adam coming out on the 21st
Eh,
with my boy The Rock.
I know you
And
love The Rock.
supposedly that's my heterosexual life mate. Supposedly there's an end credit scene with Henry Cavill as Superman.
Yeah, because I think he is coming back, and he'd be dumb not to. It's not like he's doing anything else.
Well, I don't think it was his. I think it was like Warner Brothers trying to get him away from it. No,
It might be. They're nuts.
Yeah.
Like
they let Ezra Miller come back to do some reshoots.
yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah,
That's gonna hurt.
it's gonna hurt big time. And I never wanted a movie to tank more than The Flash, and I'm a big DC fan.
Yeah.
But they're going to screw them. This is appropriate. Well, it's Hollywood, so it is appropriate for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, that's another story, folks.
Yeah, that's for another
all right,
genre
Jared, but
podcast.
It was great seeing you, and
You too, sir.
enjoy your pizza and your haunt tonight.
Yeah, I got like 14 more haunts to go.
Damn, can you believe like we're almost halfway through October?
I have a little list of you know how I put the Instagram post up, haunt
Yeah.
stop tonight.
Yep.
I only got 3 more weekends left.
Wow.
I'm like, damn, that's sad. I'm gonna have to, take up drinking when this is over, I guess, past the time.
There you go.
But there's Christmas haunts, there's St. Patty's haunts, there's halfway to Halloween haunts, there's Valentine haunts. I got this.
There you go.
All right, guys.
I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much for coming by and getting lost for us in the woods for the Horror Shed podcast. This was Haunted Dolls. We got a ton of more stuff coming. We'll see you guys later.